Hey guys, Stephen here from the Military AutoSource Lakenheath Commissary office, and today I've got another video on a Harley Davidson. Now I've been really excited to do this video because this bike is really aggressive, really mean looking, and it's more my style of bike. This is the 2019 Harley Davidson Fat Bob. Now the front of this bike, the first thing I noticed here is these drag style bars. They look really good, really aggressive, and then they are also adjustable up and down if you want to adjust it for your comfort. But coming down here, you got a very unique headlight here, which is only on the Fat Bob by Harley Davidson. It's LED, so during the night time you're going to be able to see everything, and then during the daytime everyone's going to see you because of how nice that light looks. You got inverted forks here for precise handling. You're going to be able to lean it through those corners really well because of those forks. And then you got a massive, huge front tire there. It's got a lot of grip, that tire, and a lot of lean angle available from that tire. And then got 2 disc brakes on the front because this bike produces 118 foot-pounds of torque, so you're going to need a lot of stopping power. So you put 2 disc brakes on the front, and then here got a nice laser engraved Harley Davidson logo there, which just looks really nice on the wheel there. Now coming to the side, you got a 3.6 gallon tank here, which you can get about 47 miles per gallon out of that, which is really nice. And then the paint job is really nice. Here you got a nice stripe here, and then non-symmetrical on the other side. You've got the Harley Davidson logo, which looks really good. And at the top there, you got your speedometer up there as well. And then down here, you got your 2 into 1 into 2 exhausts there, and then at the end the exhaust actually lifts, so you can get a better lean angle out of that as well. And then your forward mount controls as well. And coming to the rear of the bike here, you can see it's got this really clean fender at the back here, and underneath that fender you've got a massive, huge rear tire. Now this tire's got a lot of traction because of how big it is, and then the lean angle is really good as well. So leaning right, you're going to get about 31 degrees. Leaning left, you've got about 32 degrees lean angle. So that's the bike. There's one more thing I want to show you guys that I've noticed they've put on a lot of these new 2019 bikes. That's just down here. So you've got a little flap down here, and when you lift it up, it's got a USB behind it, so you can actually charge your mobile phones or anything like that whilst you're out on a ride as well. So that's the 2019 Fat Bob. Let's get my gear on, let's take it for a ride, and let's see what this bike actually can do. So I'm all geared up now. So walking up to the bike, is about a 28-inch seat there, so really easy to climb over. And then because the seat is so narrow, you can actually flat foot the ground as well, which is really good. Now it's actually got a smart security system, this bike. Most Harley Davidsons nowadays do, so I have no key in my hand, the key's in my pocket. I've got to flick the switch here, which will turn on the ignition here, and then a final switch here to actually turn on the engine as well. So that's how you start the bike, no key. It's really useful, especially when you got gloves on, you don't have to search for your key and everything. So let's go out for a ride, let's have a look at the bike. Right, so I've just ridden the bike off base, and the first thing I noticed during my ride there was the seat is really comfortable. I don't know if it's just because the bike I ride is more of a sport bike, the seat's just really uncomfortable, but I've already found out I'm a lot more comfortable on this bike. And the bar is also really comfortable, nice. I'm not too lean forward, I'm like straight arms, really nice comfort, but they look really stylish. And you probably noticed here as well, there's measurements, so you can actually adjust the bars, which is really cool. So this bike comes with 2 options with the engine, so you can either get the 107 engine or the 114. This one's the 114, so it's got 1860 cc's, which is insane, and then 118 foot-pounds of torque. So let's just have a look at the power. I'm in second gear, I'm going to give you some throttle. So it's got the power behind it, that's for sure, and it sounds really good as well. I only went from second to third gear there as well, and I was higher in the speeds, I should say that. Down here you can see my speed there is in the center there, and then to the right of it, it's got my gear indicator, and then my revs all along the top there, which is really cool. And then you can change it so you can show how many miles you got on your bike, or how long you got left in your tank, and all those different things, time and all that as well. Now I'm just going to go, these cars are moving again, I'm just going to give it another bit of throttle just to see the power again. Goes through the gears really nicely as well, just went from second to third again, and it goes through really nice. I'm being pulled back quite hard on this bike. This engine is really torquey, and it's really nice to ride. So it's a 6-speed bike, so you can still go out on those long cruises and still be relaxed as well, not have the bike screaming in 5th gear. So that's good with that. The inverted forks, they do corner really nice. Obviously there's not too many twisties around here to proper twist it into all the corners, but from what I can see now, they feel nice. Let's just go over these covers here again just to see the bumps. Handles them really nice, nothing too aggressive. I can feel it obviously again, but it's not too crazy. And then there's a nice little corner coming up here again. Shift it into second and let's just lean it through it and see how it leans. Leans really nice as well. I've done a few track days on my own personal bike. Leaning on this bike does feel really, really aggressive. So I'm just gonna do some stopping tests here. So I'm going 40 miles per hour. I'm gonna put my front brakes on because the two front discs there, I'm already going down to 25 miles per hour. I don't want to do it too hard because there's a car behind me. I don't want him running into the back of me. And again, so easy to lean around that corner. You don't even need to think about it. The tires, they may be massive, but he really did think about a lot of designs to get it leaning. Slowest turning, cool. We're just gonna give it a few. I'm gonna accelerate again, go through the gears and see how it performs again. Hit the second, hit the third, fourth, fifth. I don't want to go too hard. It is a new bike, so I don't want to be going too crazy on it, but it performs really, really good. So you average about 47 miles per gallon out of this tank, which is really nice, so you can do your long rides and not have to fill up as much. And then the design on the tank, I really do like the look of the tank with the black paint and then the black stripes along it. It looks really, really good. So the forward mount controls are really nice on this bike as well. I've only previously ridden Harleys with the mid mount controls, which are nice, but your knees are always tucked up. With the forward mounts, my legs have plenty of room, they're not tucked up, and I'm really comfy as well. So for those long distance rides again, forward mount controls could be really, really good. And then just the normal ride as well, when you're just cruising, it's really smooth. Let's go into fourth gear here, going 30 miles per hour. It's not juttering or anything like that. It's handling it really nice. Then still, I've got the power there if I do want to accelerate out of fourth gear there, straight up to 60 miles per hour with no issues. Didn't have the downshift or anything like that, so it's torquey throughout the entire range of the gearing and revs as well, which is really nice. I've done a few track days on my own personal bike, so I've done a lot of leaning, and this bike does feel like you can lean it over really well. And it's good to know that the exhaust is swooped up as well, so you know you're not going to scrape that along the floor. We're just doing little zigzags here like this. You can really chuck it in and do it without feeling like you're going to scrape or slip off or anything like that. It does it really, really nicely. So I'm going to show you my back brakes here as well. So I'm going to put my back brakes on, and it's got ABS, so you know you can push it really hard without actually locking up the back brakes. But it stopped me really, really quick there as well. Same with the front brakes, as we did earlier. The front brakes are really good, so I'm going 50 miles per hour, heavy on the front brakes, straight down to 30 miles per hour. Wasn't even that long. I don't want to push it too hard because of the cars behind me, but I've got ABS on the bike, so I know I'm not going to slip out. So it's really, really, really good. Now we're just pulling back into base here, so I'm going to stop the recording, and then when we get back to the office, I'll show you guys more about the bike. So we're just pulling up here again at the commissary office, and honestly this bike was really, really good. It handled nice, it's got a lot of torque and everything behind it. And you can see here, even just these short little turns, I can lean the, turn the handlebars and everything, lean the bike over without having to worry about scraping pegs or anything like that. So much torque, so much power. It's got really good looks. As soon as I pulled up to the gates there, the guy instantly complimented the looks of the bike as well, which is really nice. I'm just going to pull up here, do one last look around on the bike, and then yeah, so if you guys do want to get yourself riding on a Harley Davidson, since riding season is just around the corner, pop down to the commissary office, see myself, Ethan, or my dad Chris, and get yourself on one of these, because this bike is really, really nice. So even just little things like this, so you got your suspension here so you can adjust it and everything to your comfort. So yeah, pop down to the Commissary office, see myself, Ethan, or my dad Chris, and we'll get you riding for the new riding season. Thank you guys.